Good morning, viewers at home. You're welcome to another beautiful edition of the show. The show is Perspective, and I remain your host, Yinka Kenny is my name. You know that what we do here on the show is to bring you all that has happened, is happening, or it's being talked about. The gist is right here on the show. And you know that here on Perspectives, we try to break down the news as much as we can to bring it to everybody's understanding. And this morning, before we go on to what we have for us on the show, as usual, we want to say a big thank you to all the health workers and those that are working tirelessly, those at the helm of affairs, everybody from the governor of Lagos State onto the cleaner that is working tirelessly to bring an end to this pandemic. We say a big thank you to you, and we hope and sincerely hope that this time will pass. And we also encourage us not to be tired, because every one of us, we are all on the street now. It doesn't mean that we should be careless about the pandemic. The pandemic is still on. And having said that, I bring you the update of COVID-19 cases in Nigeria. The update as at last night, 11:40 p.m. We had 328 new cases confirmed. Now in Nigeria, we have 11,844 cases totally confirmed, and we've discharged 3,696 people, and unfortunately we have had 333 deaths. However, the breakdown of the new cases are in Lagos. Lagos still remains the epic center of the pandemic. Unfortunately, we had 121 cases in Lagos yesterday. The federal capital 70, Bauchi 20, Rivers 18, Oyo State 16, Kaduna 15, Gombe 14. We add in Edo and Ogun State 13 cases each, Jigawa 8, Enugu 6, Kano 5, Osun State and Ondo State had 2 cases respectively. Unfortunately, that is what the updates as at last night, 11:40 p.m. Well, we just pray and hope that someday all this will become history. What are we talking about this morning? The unfortunate incident that has been happening all over. It's been happening in succession since the past 2 weeks, which is so unfortunate. And we're talking about rape, and even murder cases. We find out that people go out, they rape girls, and unfortunately they still have to take their lives with it. What is the cause of all this? What is our society becoming? So much attention has been drawn to the rape cases in the country, and the awareness, I feel a lot of us still feel that it is still very, very low. Because we still hear people talk about, why is the lady putting on what she was putting on? We still hear them saying, why was she there? Why should she be there at that point in time? Why would she be walking alone? Why would she be this? Why would she be that? People begin to give excuses for the perpetrator of the crime, instead of we bringing the perpetrator of the crime, bringing him to face the wrath of the law. We begin to raise excuses for them. I stand to say this morning unapologetically that rape is inexcusable, no matter what. Rape is inexcusable, no matter what the lady is putting on. Please, if you cannot hold on to yourself, leave the environment or look away. It doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't take anything away from you. And we're going to be talking about the rape cases and many more after this very tiny little break. I'll be back. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. You're welcome back. The show is still Perspective, and this morning I'm going to have a guest on phone that I'm going to be talking to. This morning I have a child rights activist on phone by the name Betty Abba. Betty Abba, she is the executive director of Center for Children's Health Education Orientation and Protection, CEO. Betty, good morning.
Good morning, my sister.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Unfortunately, for some days, weeks now, I tell you, I've been so sad. The stories of rape here and there, and you find at the rate at which it's been done with so much impunity, with so much people are beginning to care less. And you see the unfortunate part, most especially, is that after raping your victim, you still have to take the victim's life. What's your take on all this, please?
I think the rape epidemic in Nigeria is taking on a very frightening dimension, and it's something that I believe that the entire society should be focused on ending right now, because this is just not acceptable in a sane society, in a society governed by law and order. How do you just take other people's lives casually? People who have not offended you? I mean, how do you take a life that you did not give? And when people begin to resort to impunity like this, when people begin to take other people's lives to commit some of the worst crimes in the world, I think that it actually calls for the entire nation, the entire society to rally around. Like what's happening in the U.S., the same thing. The police brutality targeted against black men. I think that is something that we have to, this should be a tipping point in this country. I understand that there have been rallies in Lagos, in Abuja, in Benin, and other places in the last few days. This should be a tipping point. We thought that when we had the Otanya case and there was widespread mobilization back in all of that, and I thought that we had seen the worst, and that society was beginning to start on the course of sanity. But things are just getting worse. And this is because law enforcement has not done their work. This is because our government has not decided to bring down the wrath of the law on people who perpetrate this evil, especially against young, innocent people. Look at the girl that was killed in Benin. A very aspiring young lady who was so focused on her education. Even during the lockdown, she was still reading. She wanted the best life, and she knew that education was the way out of poverty, of deprivation of society. But in the very course of aspiring, she was murdered in the most brutal form. So how worse can it get before the entire society sits up? And this is because this thing can happen to anybody. I've spoken to families of rape victims, and the expression they read in the news, they never imagined that they could be the victim, that their own daughters, their own sons could be victims. So this thing can happen to anybody. And most times the perpetrators are people within families, within your neighborhood, and so nobody is really safe. So we have to decide to do something as a society.
So that's where I'm even going to now. Where do you think we have gotten it wrong as a people?
I believe that it's about law enforcement. I saw a video of, funny enough, a few days ago, I saw a video of a man who happily gisting his friend how he raped his 12-year-old girl. And he brought the girl to his shop, and then he was demonstrating how he raped her and all of that. And people were saying, but police were arresting you. Just look at them and say, which police? You see, that is an indicting statement of the highest order. We've dealt with rape cases over the years. And one of our biggest, in fact, our big impediments have been the Nigerian police. Many police stations are set up as business hubs. The police is the highest point of indictment in this mess that we found ourselves as a nation. Police stations are set up as business centers. The higher the crime, the happier they are. Because they knew it's an opportunity to make money. We just have to call it what it is. We are business of this mess. We handled a case a few years ago in Agbado, their community, around Agbado station in Lagos. And what happened? This girl was downgraded by 4 people in the community, boys and youth. Was raped in a point she became unconscious. And while she was still in the hospital recovering, the police forced the father of the girl to write an understatement freeing the boy. Now, according to the police policy, rape cases are not supposed to be treated at local police station as divisional offices. They're supposed to be taken to headquarters.
Okay.
But the police people are so fixated on collecting money, and they have threatened the parents of the boy that did it too. And so when they brought the father of the girl, said, please sign this to let this boy go. He said, he's just a poor carpenter in the village. Extremely poor. It's a very impoverished community. I've worked for 2 years now. And he said, but why will I bring them? The people who rape my just almost to the point of death. When she's in the hospital, why she will survive? She's very sick. And you know what? They handcuffed him and beat him up in the police station. Handcuffed him. This is Agbado's community in Ogun State. Divisional police station. They beat him up and said, how dare you question us? Your daughter is a slut. Your daughter is a prostitute. What took him to the boy's house? And you are daring us. They beat him up. After I was my first entrance into that community, they invited me and I did a report. And the police commissioner was informed. That was how the boys were rearrested and tried.
Now, let me take you up on that. Now,
policemen, they continue with their job.
Now, let me take you up on that point you have just raised about the local police station trying to cover up a lot of cases and shaming the victim instead of, enforcing law upon the perpetrator of the crime. What more? Now, and I know that these and many more, are reasons you find out that most people just keep quiet and they don't talk about what they are going through. What more can be done for people to be able to come out boldly, make reports, so that this act, even if we cannot stop it, it can be curbed?
Yes, it can be curbed. It can be curbed. I think it's for the rest of us to rally around and shame people who obstruct justice at every turn. Now there's social media we can resort to, we can shame them. Most of this, actually, the Ochanya case, the justice for Uwa, the justice for Jennifer, the young lady who was also killed recently in Ibadan, are all... Barakat, justice for Barakat. It's all being wired and being amplified by social media. So most people now, in case of people have access to Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, so it's for us to be able to use social media. Every one of us has to be citizen journalists to expose this evil that's going on. Because if the people who are law enforcement agencies, who are supposed to enforce the law, who are supposed to secure the life, the sanity, the dignity of the vulnerable in our society, if they are the ones covering up, if they are the ones colluding with perpetrators to cover up and to perpetrate crime and to obstruct justice, they have to be exposed. Has to be exposed, because we cannot continue. And like I said, anyone could be a victim. Look at this woman, a very respected actress, Ajayi Lycett, who was raped a few years ago in her house at the age of 65. So no one is really said. By the time you say it's not your problem, it's actually your problem.
So what should now, because of our time, quickly, can you just say, let's go to the smaller community right now? Yes, we've talked about there's decadence in the police force, but what do you think? This act most of the times are perpetrated by the masculine world. What do you think can be done? Probably a form of orientation or something, or probably parenting or something. What do you think that can be done?
In our local communities, where it is very right. There should be widespread sensitization, people should be sensitized, and the government should strengthen, very importantly, the government should strengthen. There should be reform in our justice system as pertaining to cases. The sentences should be deeper. So people are prescribing castration,
but we see that the House of Reps do not really agree with castration.
At least there should be life imprisonment.
That there is, we have the laws in Lagos State. I know we have the laws, the law to rape, life imprisonment.
The highest is what is 50 years. What is the person at least 50 years? So we should make the law. There should be policy reform to show government readiness to end this, because we can only do our best as activists, as citizen journalists. We can only do our best.
Yeah.
It's the government that has the resources, the authority to enforce this law. And thank God, the police DG is speaking about it. So many politicians are speaking. I hope that this tempo can be sustained, and then something is actually done. Because nobody is actually safe anymore. The entire womanhood, even boys, girls, they are just so vulnerable. And until we have the Nigerian police has the sense that they are there to protect, that they are there to safeguard people, and not to make money, not to turn this police station into business center, I believe that something will be done. I believe that we will get to the point where we will feel safe as a nation.
Thank you very, very much, Betty. I appreciate your contribution to our show this morning. It's really a pleasure to have you on this show.
God bless you.
Thank you so much. That was Betty Abba. She was talking so much about the situation that we have found ourselves in the country today. And Betty Abba, she is the executive director of the Center for Children's Health, Education, Orientation and Protection, CEO. We have heard it all. Yes. No, we should do. We can't stop doing the sensitization, the orientation. We should just keep on doing that. Let me pick one or two calls before I leave the studio this morning. Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling me from?
Hello, good morning. My name is Ola Adekunle.
All right. Thank you for calling in on the show. Where are you calling from, please?
Yeah, well, I'm coming from Jodibega.
Okay. Thank you. What's your perspective this morning?
You see about this raping issue. It's not good. It's so sad. It's not that somebody's supposed to be here. But at the same time, we should talk to ladies.
Okay.
Do we are addressing them now? Some people we are going to church, go to mosque. You get what God says inside the book of this thing, both the Bible and Quran. They say something about dressing. We know raping is not good, but they should talk to ladies. They should control their dressing. God called it private part. The way they are dressing now, so many, we know what is going on about dressing. Please, they should talk about that.
Okay, thank you very much. There's so much ado about dressing. Yes, as much as we don't preach that girls should dress indecently, but then the way the girl is dressed is not enough reason to rape the lady. If you go overseas, if you go outside the country, you find people that are dressed in very ridiculous way, and you dare not trespass. People still, do the right thing. So why can't we just behave? If you feel that you cannot, stand the way she's been dressed, walk away, please. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
What's your name and where are you calling me from? Make yourself a bit audible. I can hardly hear you.
Okay, my name is Dauda, calling from Badagry.
Okay, Dauda calling from Badagry.
Yeah.
Okay, please quickly, what's your perspective this morning?
All right. The company had it up on the incident happened before we start running after the measures and how it happened.
I can hardly hear you, Dauda. Please do well to call me back. Please, I was finding it difficult to hear what you were saying. So there is this morning I just have to lend my voice to all this to say that there is no reason, no matter where the lady is, no matter what she's putting on, no matter what her age is, there is no excuse for rape. It's a no to rape. It's a no to rape. And the authorities should begin to enforce the right punishment to rape. Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling me from?
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, good morning, madam.
Good morning, madam.
Thank you for calling in. What's your name and where are you calling me from?
Hello, ma'am.
I can hear you. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
My name is...
Sorry, please do well to call us back. And when you want to call, please put the volume of your TV set down. And I was saying that I'm joining my voice to say that it's a no to rape. No matter where she is, no matter what she's putting on, no matter her age, it doesn't matter. She's a girl, she's a lady, she's a female. She has to be treasured, not to be raped. Talk less of murdered. Hello? Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, madam.
What?
It's condemnable and it's a crime. Society should tolerate it.
Please put the volume of your TV set down. Sorry, if you have to call me, please put the volume. Oh, yes, rape is condemnable and it is punishable. And people should begin to speak out, because the more you keep to yourself, the more you get hurt, the more you get depressed, and you might end up doing things that ordinarily you aren't supposed to do. Please speak up and speak out. Let the perpetrator be put to shame and be punished. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, ma.
Thank you for calling in. What's your name and where are you calling me from?
My name is Joy. I'm calling from Ikeja.
Okay, what's your perspective? Put the volume of your TV set down, please.
Okay.
All right, what's your perspective this morning?
I want to call that if somebody, maybe a lady is putting on a short jacket, does that make men to see them and rape them? It's not fair.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'm listening.
I want to make a comment that if that is the reason why they are being raped, then I think we should advise them to stop wearing short clothes.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you so much for calling in. It's not an excuse. What she's putting on is not an excuse for her to be raped. That is not saying that indecent dressing is good. It's okay. But what we're saying that no matter what she's putting on, you don't have a right to rape her. A no is a no. If she doesn't want it, she doesn't want it. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Thank you for calling in. What's your name and where are you calling me from? Put the volume of your TV set down, please.
Hello?
Please put the volume of your TV set down.
Hello.
If you have to call me, put the volume of your TV set to the lowest volume so that you will hear me through the phone and not through the television set. I think I just want to pick one more call before I leave, before I go on to the social media.
Hello, ma.
If you have to call me, please put the volume of your TV set down because I cannot hear you. I can't hear you when the volume of your TV set is up. Well, this morning I won't leave you. Let me pick just one last call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you for calling in. What's your name and where are you calling me from?
My name is Mr. Oriyomi Omoniyi. I'm calling you from Port Harcourt.
Okay, thank you for calling in, Mr. Oriyomi from Port Harcourt.
Yes.
What's your perspective this morning? Quickly.
Raping, I totally condemn it. In fact, it should be 50 years in prison. Because I don't know what is coming into our boys' head. Not even only our boys. Some elderly men of 60 years are raping a 40 years old girl. In fact, I want all Nigeria to join hands together and condemn this attitude.
Thank you very much.
To me, if any boy rape any girl or any teenager, it should be jailed for 50 years.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate your perspective this morning. And that's going to be our last call on the show this morning. That was Mr. Oriyomi from Port Harcourt. I'm going to the social media straight away. And this morning, I'm taking a tweet from Reverend Sam Adeyemi. He's saying that the government are lifting lockdown restrictions to preserve livelihoods. And in some cases, for political reasons. We pray for the virus to be gone soonest. Till then, think with clarity, make sound decisions, act responsibly, be prayerful, stay safe, lead yourself well. That's some word of advice from Reverend Sam Adeyemi, and I think if I were in everybody's position, I would take to that advice. Atiku Abubakar, our former vice president, is saying that federal government finally withdraws from the fuel subsidy and price fixing bazaar that had been rife with corruption and stalling investment. This is something patriots have been calling for, and for which I was demolished. Well, that's according to our former vice president. Falilat on Twitter is saying that every 1K, Egbon, you think you have money until light bill comes up, or water or gas bills comes up. Also, Chima is saying that every personal finance book summed up in one tweet: don't go into debt, save and invest early, buy assets not liability, cut extravagant expenses. Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Buying experiences will make you happier than buying luxury goods. And that's where I call it a wrap on the show this morning. And I'm leaving you with this, saying that, well, coronavirus is still very much around. Like Pastor Adeyemi has advised, be wise about your going out, social distancing. Make sure you still use your hand sanitizers as often as you can. Make sure you wash your hands. Also, avoid crowded places. If you have to go into the public bus, make sure it is filled up to 60%, only 60% capacity. And if it's a tricycle, make sure you have only 2 passengers there. Till I come your way, same station, same time next week, I remain your host, Yinka Kenny. Stay well and stay safe. Thank you.
See